And joining me now is Nora. We've agreed to keep her last name private for safety purposes. Nora is one of the many Canadians with families stuck in Gaza. Nora, first of all, thank you for being here. How is your family doing in Gaza?
How is your family? That is a dumb question.
They're not okay. They're absolutely not okay. I have been bracing myself since yesterday, trying not to cry, but they are not okay. They're being told that they have to evacuate, and Israel has cut up Gaza into blockades and forcing people, telling them to leave. This is the place, this is the South where they told everyone that it was going to be a safe space. There's over 2 million people that have nowhere to go.
So from the sounds of it, it sounds like the Israelis just want to keep pushing them out. I did a video a couple days ago of Israeli politicians telling the West to take in Palestinian refugees. Here's a recap. Jerusalem, November 14th. Senior far-right member of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu government said on Tuesday Gaza could not survive as an independent entity and would be better for Palestinians there to leave for other countries, aka Western countries. Why? Because most Muslim countries don't want them. Finance Minister, can't pronounce his name, who heads one of the nationalist parties in Netanyahu's coalition, said he supported a call by two members of Israeli parliament who wrote in Wall Street Journal editorial that Western countries should accept Gazian families who expressed a desire to relocate. The comments underscore fears in much of the Arab world that Israel wants to drive Palestinians out of the land where they want to build a future state, repeating the mass dispossession of Palestinians when Israel was created in 1948. Alright, recap done. Back to the video.
Right now. And we still know that there are Canadians that are stuck there. So
why did you go there? This might sound cruel, but that area is not a safe area to go to. For example, I'm white. Do you think I'd go to the Middle East? No. Why? Because it wouldn't be safe for me.
we just feel absolutely helpless. Our government has failed us. We can't even help evacuate our extended family at this.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but for once, the Canadian government didn't do anything wrong. The government didn't fail you. You went to a place that wasn't safe. Every couple of years, Israel and Hamas go at it. It's a fact of life at this point. Extended family, meaning they're not actually Canadian citizens, I'd wager.
Point.
Have you heard anything from Global Affairs Canada at all about evacuating your family members? Were they on that list of Canadians who are expected to hopefully leave?
So unfortunately, my family is not Canadian and I cannot evacuate them. They're not considered eligible to be to evacuate. And so many Canadians here have extended family that they are witnessing literally be murdered and killed and carpet bombed by Israel, and they have nothing to do. They cannot do anything about it.
Well, like I said earlier, Israel and Hamas go at it every couple of years. Last time they went at it was like 3 years ago. So, after that conflict, you could have got your family out of there, helped them migrate to Canada. But you didn't. And now you're panicking, worried for your family. And you're blaming the government, which for once didn't do anything wrong.
Canada is not opening up any policy to help bring close family members to Canada. There's no pathway. There's no program for refugees. Even, when we looked at what happened in Ukraine, there was Ukrainian families that could bring their families. Why can't we do the same for our families?
There's a huge difference. Ukrainians are 95% not likely to be terrorists. Palestinians are 50% chance to be Hamas agents. And in my personal opinion, 50-50 is being generous. And disclaimer, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Here's another example. The Canadian government is bending over backwards to support Ukraine, and they're rather anti-Russian. But the Canadian government is literally pro-Israel. So, do I think we should let in Palestinians? No, because the two groups hate each other. And when your nation's government says, we stand with Israel, you're just asking for trouble.
Now, there was that ceasefire and humanitarian pause that Israel had agreed to. It's come to an end now. What are your biggest concerns for your loved ones on the ground?
That they're going to be murdered, that they're going to be bombed, that their block is going to be called next, and that they have nowhere to go and they are going to be shelled by Israel indiscriminately. This is what we are all bracing ourselves and holding our breath for. There is nowhere that is safe right now. There is nowhere to go.
Nowhere but the Western countries, apparently, which is what the Israeli government wants and what this woman wants.
And it is absolutely outrageous to even ask 2 million people, half of which have already been displaced from the north of Gaza, to go to the south and tell them, okay, leave again. We're telling you to evacuate. There is absolutely nowhere to go for them. So what are they expected to do? These are children, these are civilians that have absolutely nowhere to go, and we are witnessing this absolute genocide happen, and we're doing nothing about it.
So it's a geno, huh? Isn't the UN supposed to stop that? Interesting.
And so we are just expected to sit here and watch them.
Again, if you're so worried about your family members, you should have worked on getting them out years ago. Like 4 years ago. Before the last conflict, which was 3 years ago, and after the other conflict, which was 6 years ago or something. Because my take on immigration, it's a lot easier for black and brown people to immigrate to Western countries than it is for a white person to immigrate to another Western country. That's just my opinion, so I could be wrong. So in closing, it's strange how both the Israeli government and this woman, they want the same thing. The Israeli government wants the Palestinians out, and this woman wants her Palestinian relatives out. Anyway, take care out there in clown world.